Hey you, feeling down? Tear down the walls.
Tearing it down!
Sammi Curr is hands down our favorite fictitious heavy metal hero, beloved by all of us fans of the box office bomb Trick or Treat, a 1986 horror flick that's gained cult status among the metal faithful. Here, we'll take a look at 10 killer facts about Trick or Treat. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. And subscribe to MovieWeb to keep up with the conversation about all of the things we love.
Whoa!
Freddy vs. Sammi, touching on the supernatural, the PMRC-driven fears of the 80s, and a bit of satanic panic. Trick or Treat tells the story of Sammi Curr, a dead rocker resurrected through backmasking, who helps his #1 fan get revenge on the high school bullies.
Get him!
Trick or Treat wasn't successful enough to earn sequels, but its anti-hero's origin is connected to the much more successful supernaturally powered resurrected slasher, Freddy Krueger. Michael S. Murphy and Joel Soyson produced the movie after making Freddy's revenge, bringing horror effects master Kevin Yeager with them. In a 2011 Star News interview, Soyson likened it to, quote, an alienated youth's version of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Because there was this guy that didn't come out of your dreams, he comes out of the backwards masking of a record.
Come on, man, what do you think?
I think it's your ordinary run-of-the-mill backmass message.
He added, the way he infiltrates the real world was very similar to Freddy Krueger. Even the scarring on his face was probably a little derivative in that way. Eddie is autobiographical. Trick or Treat was sold on a one-line pitch. Kid plays record backward to unleash revengeful ghost rocker. This is according to Rhett Topham, who made his screenwriting debut. Eddie is me, no doubt. My middle name is Eddie, he said in a 2006 interview. His dress, his look, his composure, his experiences, his insight, spontaneity, and chameleon-like ability to disappear in the middle of a crowd if need be. All tools of survival in high school if you're not part of the elite crowd. The way we see Eddie dressed and groomed in Trick or Treat was the exact way I showed up at Murphy and Soyson's office for that first fateful pitch. The movie's producers thought Topham's Sammi Curr concept could work as the Freddy Krueger-type franchise star executive producer Dino De Laurentiis wanted. And yet another connection, Topham later wrote on TV's Freddy's Nightmares. Actor turned director. Murphy and Soyson heard actor Charles Martin Smith was looking to direct, and after meeting with him, decided to let him helm Trick or Treat, which was still in the treatment stage. Smith is most recognizable from American Graffiti and The Untouchables, and makes a cameo in Trick or Treat as the high school principal.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
Kiss and makeup. The filmmakers initially wanted a real-life rock star to play Sammi Curr, but as Smith told Fangoria in 1986, most of the guys they approached were turned off by the subject matter, given that the movie sought to poke some fun at both sides of the metal debate. Wasp frontman Blackie Lawless was reportedly in talks at one point. Gene Simmons of Kiss says he was offered the part, but turned it down, opting for the smaller role of local radio DJ Norman Nuke Torog instead.
It's body time!
Smith ultimately elected to go with an unknown, the late Tony Fields, who'd worked as a dancer on TV's Solid Gold. The Ragman. The crucial role of Eddie the Ragman Weinbauer went to Mark Price, who TV audiences knew as next-door neighbor Skippy from the hit sitcom Family Ties. Michael J. Fox made the leap from Family Ties to the big screen, and Price was hoping to follow suit. According to a 2011 interview, he was cast in Can't Buy Me Love, but his Family Ties contract wouldn't allow it, and the role ultimately went to Patrick Dempsey. In the same interview, he said he was up against Keanu Reeves for Trick or Treat. The producers went on to make Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Excellent!
Ragman The Barbarian. Early magazine articles teased a look at a cool daydream fantasy sequence where Eddie imagines himself as a badass Conan the Conqueror type, ripped straight from a heavy metal album cover. It would have been homage to the great artist Frank Frazetta, and a bit of a nod to legendary producer Dino De Laurentiis, who oversaw Trick or Treat and the Conan movies. Unfortunately, this scene didn't make the cut. The X-Files. Trick or Treat is the only acting credit for Glenn Morgan, who plays Eddie's put-upon best friend, Roger. Morgan, a friend of the producers, had punched up some of the dialogue. The producer sent him to audition for Smith to play Roger without letting on that they knew him. He's now best known for his work as a writer on The X-Files. He and James Wong were co-showrunners on Millennium and wrote Final Destination, The One, and Final Destination 3 together. Morgan also directed Willard and Black Christmas. Ozzy Ad-libbed. Ozzy Osbourne cameos as an anti-heavy metal TV evangelist. He even has a post-credit scene, which was much less common in the 80s. Simmons had already acted a few times, but Ozzy, of course, was a different animal. I felt it was better not to give Ozzy scripted lines because what he came up with was much more interesting than the script, Smith revealed to Fangoria. We probably got about 45 minutes of material out of Ozzy. No way that's all going to get into the movie.
These evil people have just got to be stopped.
Flogging Sammi. The Sammi Curr songs in the movie and on the accompanying soundtrack are the work of Fastway, named for its founding guitarist, the late Fast Eddie Clarke of Motorhead. It began as a supergroup, with Fast Eddie joined by members of UFO and The Clash. Fastway made a gold-selling major label debut and toured with the likes of Ozzy, Iron Maiden, and AC/DC. Their fourth album doubled as the Trick or Treat soundtrack, and it delivered in spades, if you'll pardon the Motorhead pun. Trick or Treat was their last album with singer Dave King, who went on to form Flogging Molly. MTV aired the music video for After Midnight, which featured Fast Eddie, Fields in character as Sammi, and a rhythm section cloaked in silhouette. Skeezix. Iron Maiden has Eddie, Megadeth has Vic Rattlehead, and Sammi Curr has Skeezix. The idea for a literal devil character evolved into a demon companion for Sammi, a monster that would have been seen on Sammi Curr album covers and merchandise. While we only see Skeezix for a brief but memorable scene, Kevin Yeager constructed the little devil with detailed finesse. When Smith saw Yeager's work, he expanded the scene just a bit, but admitted he wished we'd seen more of the little guy. Maybe he can star in the sequel, Smith said during that Fangoria set visit. We hope you enjoyed this look at 10 killer facts about Trick or Treat. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. And subscribe to MovieWeb to keep up with the conversation about all of the things we love. And remember, no false metal.